morning. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm going on my 4-mile walk. And today is day 13 of the 30-day transformation challenge. I asked God what he wanted me to do for the month of December. And he said, I want you to do a 30-day transformation challenge. I said, okay. I thought I was going to be doing this with a group of people, but come to find out, God wanted me to do it first before I had others join me next month on the challenge. He said to me, Melanie, you have to go into the unfamiliar territory first before you can bring anybody somewhere. You got to go where you've never been so that you can bring people with you. Transformation has happened in my life multiple times, at different times, different layers, different seasons of my life. But this is a new beginning, a new season, and I'm walking into new territory that I've never been. That being said, I was obedient. I started the challenge December 1st, 2023. Today is day 13. And the goal is to give people a real life transformation in real time using my real results, using my real life, so that you can see all that you can achieve in 30-day increments. When you are intentional, when you focus, when you make decisions built on principle and truth, and when you give yourself permission to be great. So good morning. Normally, this live would have been done by 5:30 this morning. Every day I've been going live on TikTok between 5:30 and 6 a.m. because normally that's when I would be out here. This morning, I woke up at 5 like I told myself I would. And then I laid back down. But here was the lesson I got. One, I learned this lesson by day 6. And that is, you have to set a consequence for yourself every time you don't do something you said you're going to do. Why? Because you have to give yourself a new neural pathway that allows you to lay a new system, a new thinking pattern, a new program to run in your life. But then 2, the other thing I've learned, which I learned today on day 13, was compassion. You will not always hit the mark. And that's the reality a lot of people don't like to accept for themselves. And some people who do accept it think that it immediately deems them like the ultimate failure. I shared a video the other day about compound momentum, right? Compound momentum literally means that you are multiplying your movement, your growth. Every single day, you keep your commitment to yourself, right? So, if you miss the mark, but you do it anyway, then you are still building momentum. Why? Because the one beautiful thing that life allows us to do is use it. Time allows us to use it. And every day you use time, time cannot rob you from what you did the day before because you did it. So, I'm out here getting my 4 miles in, even though it's later in the day, and I will adjust my schedule as needed. For today, I will do my meetings and just make some adjustments. But what I'm not willing to do is let go of my commitment. Because every time you hold your commitment to yourself, every single time, you are programming yourself And you are convincing yourself by giving it real life evidence that you can trust yourself. So, and the beauty of trusting yourself is people who build greatness, they build it on a foundation that they can trust. So, when y'all come in the room, it's okay for y'all to say good morning to me. I may not see everybody's good morning, but I will give you a quick shout out. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, excuse me. Good morning, Milton. Welcome back to the live. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Milton. Welcome back to the live. Happy Wednesday. I say this often in my lives, and I will continue to say it until everyone gets this revelation. You are not going to feel like transforming your life. You are not going to feel like doing all the things that are necessary for the change to happen in your life. You are not going to feel like waking up early and coming outside in the freezing cold to walk 4 miles. You're not going to feel like it. But you do it because you've committed to yourself that you would. You do it because your commitment is not anchored in your feelings. Your commitment is anchored in the truth and the principle of what you are living your life by, right? Every time I get out here and I go for this walk, I'm setting myself up for success. Believe it or not. Every time I get out here and go for this walk, I am getting rid of stagnation in my life. Every single time I get up and I continue to move the ball and I continue to move, I always envision like a snowball, right? It starts off the size of your fist, but as you continue to roll it down the hill, it develops over time. So you have to be willing to start out like the size of a fist, right? In order to develop into everything that you say you want to do. I don't care what social media tells you, it does not happen overnight. Okay? People need to understand that, please. This is why my favorite example of growth and transformation is always exercise. Because exercise you cannot fake. You can't fake getting a 6-pack, developing the muscles in your shoulders and in your back. You can't fake growing a bigger booty even though people try to, because you could tell, right? You can't fake it. You have to be willing to put in the days, the hours, the action, the commitment, the discipline, the focus. You have to be willing to put that in order to get out the results you say you're looking for. So that's why I do it. That's why I get up. Because part of my commitment to myself is waking up at 5 a.m., which I did, is walking 4 miles a day, which I'm doing. By the end of day 30, I will have finished 5 books this month. I've already lost 7 pounds. I've already seen an increase in my business, in my influence, in my social media platforms. There has already been growth. My finances are shifting as we speak because I'm providing for people what it is that they're looking for in the coaching space. My family is getting better. Literally, even my conversations with my children. I have teenagers, y'all, plus a 16-month-old. And even those relationships are getting better. I've even been able to heal. I've been able to heal a few areas so far in my personal life that used to be triggers that I used to carry around for 15 to 20 years. And ever since I started this challenge, 2 of those triggers that I used to carry for 15 to 20 years are gone. Thank you. So, and this is all just in 13 days. I think I mentioned it earlier. Today is 13. Day 13 of my 30-day transformation challenge. And I cannot wait to show you guys the results that I'm able to get in just 30 days. So, yeah. Commitment, focus, intentionality, honesty, authenticity, truth. These things, operating in these spaces, propel you to where you say you want to go. And you don't have to make it hard for yourself. There's a guy that I listen to every now and again. I'm trying to remember his name. He always wears like a nose breathing patch. Why can't I think of his name? It's pretty easy to remember. Dark curly hair, bodybuilder. Come on. He said, he was being interviewed one day and he said, someone asked him a question about something about why does he make it seem so simple or something like that? Why does he make, succeeding look so simple or whatever? But he said, I forget what the question was, but his answer was, people who make things harder for themselves also tend to create harder obstacles to get around. And it's because of your wiring. If you think it's supposed to be hard, if you think it's supposed to be difficult, then you start to look through the lens of hard and difficult. And when you look through the lens of hard and difficult, you start to create more hard and difficult. I am not saying that life doesn't have its challenges, because obviously it does, right? But how you overcome them doesn't have to be as equally challenging. And for whatever the reason, we all at some point in our lives, and maybe even some of us still do, believe or bought into this idea that in order to overcome, in order to achieve, you have to do it via blood, sweat, and tears. People say all the time, people are not willing to work hard. I'm going to tell you this. It's not that people are not willing to work hard. People are not willing to focus. That is the issue. Because we have a lot of hard workers out here. And if hard work was the measurement for success in real time, then every sanitation worker, every post office worker, right? Every truck driver, every hospitality staff member, every last one of those people who tend to have the hardest jobs would be rich, rolling in millions of dollars. So clearly hard work is not the indicator for optimal success. Focus is the optimal focus. Hear that. Please receive that, y'all. When you have unwavering focus, that is what leads you to your goal. When you have clarity about your goal, that is what gets you to your goal. And then when you are willing to do what is required to get it done, that is what gets you to your goal. I promise you, I'm not preaching at you guys. I'm not just trying to say this stuff just to say it. I am 40 years old with 4 children. One graduated early from high school, homeschooled 3 of my children. And now I'm down to 2.5 because my 16-month-old is, he's home, right? I have 2 LLCs, one that I've owned for almost 17 years, another one that I own for almost 2 years now. My first company has worked with the HBO corporate offices. I've worked with the Nivea, the lotion, the Nivea corporate offices. I've worked and provided services for Tyler Perry Studios. So I can tell you that succeeding at something, reaching your goals, growing, making a lot of money, all of this stuff, it doesn't just happen because you are willing to work hard. It is focus. It is intention. It is being in a position where you are not willing to take your eye off of what you say you want. That's what it is. One of the things that, as much as I love social media because it gives us so much access at our fingertips, the internet in general, the one area that rubs me the wrong way is the area that what you end up seeing more of is all of this flashy, perfectly edited video and post about how somebody got to their $100,000 a month. They're not telling you that by the time they got to that $100,000 a month, they're not telling you the 5 years or the 10 years it took them to even figure out how to do it. You understand? They're not telling you that it took a lot of trial and error. Do you honestly believe that succeeding at anything only happens when everything is sprinkles, gumdrops, and unicorns? No. You learn the best, and human nature has proven this. You learn the best through quote unquote failures, which are really not failures, they're just lessons, right? You learn the best when you go through times that are challenging you, rubbing you the wrong way. As we all like to say, especially in the church, iron sharpens iron, right? That don't mean you need to be in a situation where something's chopping your head off. It just means you need to take full advantage of the times that rub you the wrong way. All of my best recipes that I've ever created for my first company came from lack, believe it or not. I created a burger. It was called a salmon quinoa burger. I created this burger, I want to say 10 years ago now. Maybe, 10, maybe even 8, anywhere between 8 and 10 years ago. This is before it was ever created by Whole Foods. And it came from a time when me and my children are a lot younger at the time, obviously, right? And I had just enough food in my house every day to feed my children, and I would eat whatever they didn't finish. That was real, okay? And I remember one day I had to make them a nutritious meal that was high in good quality protein that would make them feel full, but also make them want to eat it. Well, I had 1 can, maybe 2 cans of salmon in my cupboard, right, in my cabinet. I had about a half a cup of quinoa left. I had about half an onion left, maybe a half a cup of frozen spinach, some seasonings. And what I did was I mixed it together, formed it into a burger, and then I pan seared it, and it became literally, no exaggeration, one of the best things I had ever created. Not only was it delicious, but every burger had 24 grams of protein in it. And you got your protein from the salmon, from the quinoa, from the flaxseed that was in there. And when it was all said and done, it was low in calories, high in flavor, high in protein, low in simple carbs. It was absolutely delicious. I worked on that recipe. I featured it at a farmer's market earlier in my years of running my company. People absolutely loved it. It caught the eye of a company that only services high-end clients. They hit me up, they emailed me and said, listen, we want your burger to be in our gourmet baskets, because their clientele, multi-million-dollar clientele, never wanted to go grocery shopping, right? So they would get these specialty order meals, and baskets and all other things. And their chef, their current chef or whatever, would get this stuff in, and they would make this stuff for the family they worked for. And so my salmon burger ended up as baskets. My salmon burger then made it to the CEO, not the CEO, sorry. Made it to the higher ups in one of the HBO buildings, their corporate building. They loved it so much that they said, could we order cases of this to carry in our cafeteria for our employees? And so now the people who worked at the HBO building were now being served my salmon quinoa burgers when they came down for lunch. Not only that, I then got a meeting with Whole Foods, and we were in talks. I still have the emails to this day. We were in talks of them carrying my salmon quinoa burger. Back then, I didn't know what it meant to protect your product. And so basically they stole my recipe. And they had never had any seafood burgers in their case until after I featured, or I showed them what I did. And I still have the emails to this day as receipts to prove that this is not just conversation. This is real talk, y'all. So, why did I go off on that tangent? Because what got me into the spaces and got me to grow as an entrepreneur, what got my companies to grow, besides the grace of God, of course, it was this unwavering focus that I was not willing to let go of. You could not convince me otherwise. And so I share that with you guys to understand that no matter what you decide to do, what you decide to achieve, whatever goal is in front of you, it may seem small, it doesn't matter. You achieve it by having unwavering focus. And then you plan your day, you plan your week, your month, right? And you set yourself up to achieve that goal by making decisions, by commitment, and by follow through. So, yeah, just figured I'd share that. But y'all listen, I only come up here to go live for a short period of time, really just to document each day. I need proof, obviously, right? Because 65 to 75% of people are visual learners. And especially for those people who are in the coaching space like myself, it is important for people to see that you are not just talking the talk, but you are walking the walk. It's important for people to see what it really looks like to transform your life And so the month of December, I volunteered myself and also was just obedient to what God told me to do, which was to do a 30-day challenge, transformation challenge, record it so that people can see in real time with my real life, real results that they also can gain in just 30 days. All right? So I will talk to you guys later. I pray that you guys enjoy your Wednesday. I'm going to finish my 4-mile walk. I think I got like 2.5 more miles to go, but that's okay. I'm going to get it done. And I will post about some things later today. I pray you guys have an awesome day. Enjoy yourselves. If the sun is out where you are, get the sun on your face. And yeah, I'm Coach Melanie. I'll talk to y'all later. Good morning.